The wait is officially over. Welcome to the NSR GT3 World Tour for round one of Sebring, one of the most sacred and toughest tracks in the world. Starting on first is going to be Sergeant SB, second is Hattori Goto, third place is Evan. There's your top three for qualifying. The race format: two 30-minute races, a mandatory 4-tire stop, a reversed grid in the second race, and a rolling start for both races. So Sergeant SB, he dominated practice, had an alien lap time in qualifying, and now he will lead the field to green. And the official season of night school racing is getting underway at Sebring International Raceway. Let's see who's going to respect the bumps here. A good turn one for not everyone, because the 27 veers into the grass. He's going to have to check up and join the track safely. Now Malik is into the grass, but he's heading into the BMW and that Bentley, a big red as well. And he gets collected by the 47 and the 27. He's also going to get hit by. Complete and utter despair for Malik as he falls to the back of the pack with damage. Meanwhile, up front, heading towards the hairpin, Galson and Mystic contesting fourth place right now as the top three lock out their positions for qualifying. Galson on the outside trying to make a move, but it's not really possible around the outside of the hairpin there. Mystic able to keep his position. Galson gets a bit of too much curve, and now the Corvette of Sam is going to maybe look for a lunge here. No, it's too risky. Galson instead goes for an overtake in the Cunningham turn. How is that going to work? He makes contact with Mystic, and now Galson is spinning into the grass, and he tries to rejoin the track, but he won't be able to do so safely. He has to stop, and now the 47 misses his braking zone. As long as the 46 Audi R8 of Turbo, he's going to go into the grass as well. Meanwhile, in the tower turn, Mystic is under attack once again. Is he going to be able to survive this one? He does. But Captain Kush is a victim of that circumstance. He keeps the car straight, but he loses a lot of momentum. Wow, what a crazy start to race one at Sebring. That just sets the tone for the rest of the season. Look how it is the big bad Bentley chasing Mystic in that Lamborghini for fifth place. He ends up on his side door, and now they're heading into Sunset Bend, who's going to be later on the brakes. It looks like it's just a Bentley, but I think Mystic is setting him up for a crossover. Yes, he is. Now they're going to be side by side exiting Sunset Bend as they drag race down across the start finish line. James able to cover him off, but Mystic pulls to the inside into turn one. Now he's able to slice that position back away from the 93 of James Hill. What a beautiful move. Superb driving by Mystic. Good attacking and defending. Meanwhile, Thrawn in the BMW, the 77 of Dr. Blumpkin, and Nian in the Mercedes number 4, scrapping away for position. Captain Kush trying to make a comeback drive and get some position as well, and I think he's going to be able to, because it's going to be a collision between Dr. Blumpkin and the 77 and the 4 of Nian, who has to carry that damage all the way to the end of the race now, because that was a very hard impact. The 77 drives away from the carnage, and now Galson going for an aggressive overtake into the hairpin. He throws Malik off the racing line as he almost run into him. Compromises his exit out of the hairpin. This could be beneficial to him in the Cunningham turn. Look at this cinematic action in car. You can see how intense it gets in the driver's cockpit. The Aston Martin is watching this from behind. Galson is much later on the brakes than Malik. That's why he's able to take that position away. What a move by Galson as Malik gets a little bit too much curve, and now that's going to kill his momentum. Into the tower turn now. Malik's going to have to watch that sage green 911, and now Galson sets his sights. You can look and see what happened on the first, I believe this is the first incident of the first lap in turn 3. See Thrawn and Big Red, looks like they're just going to flow through this corner, but then out of nowhere, just gets door slammed by Malik. And then Malik just gets hit. Gets pile drive by the 47 of Julian. And then the 27 is going to come get a piece of that action as well. Just an awful start from Malik for race 1 at Sebring. We're going to ride on board with him so we can get a clear view. Oh, it looks like Captain Kush just, I don't know. It looks like he maybe didn't know he was there and just ran them off the road. It was obviously not intentional, but it's kind of weird to see From that, oh, you see in the rear view right there, it looks like they actually kind of came together. It doesn't look like a one-man show on this accident. It looks like Malik and Kush actually maybe have came together. It's kind of hard to tell from that angle, but you can just see how big of an impact this was. Very, very unfortunate for him. And this is the second incident that was on that same lap. So these two have been side by side pretty much since the race has started. And Galson was just a little too ambitious, a little over ambitious on the brakes there on Cunningham corner. Not exactly an ideal spot where you want to do that, because you end up in a situation like this. The Mystic having to take evasive maneuvers. Sam and the Corvette able to sneak his way through as long as that 93 Bentley of James Greenhill. And more cars were going off too. It wasn't just the 86 of Galson. The 47 Julian, he goes off as well. And then the 46 of Turbo 272 and the R8, he goes off as well. So people just, the drivers today are just being, over aggressive, not getting their braking points right. We talked about how aggressive everyone's going to be, especially at Sebring, and how aggressive everyone's going to be this season. Sam sneaks his way through. Oh, you can see he almost gets wiped out by Mystic right there. And that's not all Mystic had to go through. He was under attack by Captain Kush in the tower turn. Captain Kush ends up being a victim of that circumstance. Keeps the car pointed in the right direction, but he's going to lose a lot of ground and a lot of positions, and he's going to have to drive his way back up if he even wants a chance getting a top 10 or either a top 5 today. And that's not even all the incidents so far. I mean, so much has happened. Dr. Blumpkin goes off track, and then Nian ends up hitting his bumper. Once you tag somebody in the bumper and it's just game over, you get veered off track. Look how hard he goes into the wall. That's going to be quite a bit of damage. And then Galson, right after all that carnage on the second lap, just being super, super aggressive into the hairpin, sending Malik off of the racing line, compromising his exit. They go side by side as the Aston Martin watches behind them. And Galson able to set that up so well that he overtakes 2 cars in 2 corners. Good drive for Galson. You can see the battle for 4th is happening. Sam and Mystic. Mystic is back to take what's rightfully his, and that is 4th position. He veers to the inside of Sam. Let's see how aggressive he's going to be. He goes full send mode into Sunset Bend. Is he going to be able to complete the pass? Yes, he does. What a beautiful move. A beautiful move by Mystic. He is running laps around these guys today. And he pulls away easily from the Corvette of Sam, sitting just in the top 5 spot. Wow, what a race this has been so far. What a race this has been. These guys are overly aggressive, as we were just talking about. That Big Red goes for a big slide into turn 1. That's going to allow Galson to gain some ground on him. And now Galson, is he going to go for a move here? Of course he is. He's done it in aggressive places so far. Door-to-door contact he's going to make with Big Red. Now heading into turn 5, he's going to stick his nose there. They're going to make a bit of contact. They both go into the grass. Big Red hits into the wall. And now they're both involved in a collision. Galson is slowed down even more. And I think Sam just completely missed his braking zone, because it looks like he's coming up off the grass into the hairpin. That's going to allow the BMW of Thrawn to maybe gain some ground on him. Is Thrawn going to make a move? He goes once, twice, 3 times. But oh my goodness, Sam doesn't fall for any of those attacking moves. What good driving by the both of them. Good attacking by Thrawn and really good defending by Sam. He keeps his head down and doesn't fall for the triple dummy overtake. You can see Nian's trying to go around the outside of the 77. They're going to try battling out again around the outside of the tower turn. You rarely see that in racing here at Sebring. What a move by Nian. What a move. I'm surprised he was able to catch up to the 77 of Blumpkin. Oh, Max Yang goes around into the wall hard in turn 14. And he's going to pick up quite a bit of damage as well. And how about this overtake from Mystic? Goes full send mode into Sunset Bend. Keeps the car together, respects the bumps. It looks like Sam is going to come back on the outside, but there's no prevail for the Corvette C8 as Mystic is able to drive away into the sunset, no pun intended. But Galson just being very, very over aggressive today, and he's paying the price for it. Definitely not a track you want to be too aggressive at. And he tries to make a pass in that awkward turn 5, I believe. Just ends up going into the grass. Big Red smacking the wall very hard. Malik and Fat able to capitalize off that. See another angle here. Yeah, Big Red just tries to keep the car together, but there's just no avail for the Bentley. She goes into the wall, and this is Max Yang in turns 14 and 15. Doesn't really get a good entry, just gets too much rotation and hits the wall really hard. Does get Captain Kush and Thrawn going at it, heading towards the hairpin. Kush is going to try to go around the outside, but I think he thinks better of it. Is he going to try to crossover coming out of the hairpin? No, the crossover doesn't work here. Has to trail behind Thrawn in the BMW once more. He's going to have another opportunity going in the Cunningham corner, but braking deep here is very, very risky. Very risky to go for an overtake there, unless you really get on the brakes hard. And Max Yang once again towards the hairpin goes off the track. So far a day to forget from him. Max Yang had that trouble earlier. Taking a look and see what happened going into the hairpin. Ooh, from there you can see looks like he was braking a little bit too deep for his liking. Doesn't make any contact with the wall this time, gets it going. But a day to forget so far for Max Yang. Just not able to perform, not able to get the car back up and running how it was before, as he kicks up the grass and heads back on the track. Probably one of my favorite liveries that's being ran for this race. One of the Bentleys, one of the first Bentleys to come into the pits now, that is James Greenhill. And we have a yellow in Sector 3, and that is at Sunset Bend. The 27 Aston Martin of Fat goes around. It looks like he just had to do a donut just to get his car turned back around quickly. Oh, Big Red looks like he got a piece of that wall back there off of the last corner. But now the 27 is compromised. Galson is going to make a move down the inside, and he's able to take that position away with no problemo at all. Look and see what happened. You see Malik coming across your screen. And then the 27 doesn't get to make it across, loses the rear, gets the car going, does end up tapping that inside wall just a bit. Pretty rough day for the 27 as well. Captain Kush and the Lamborghini still trying to go after Thrawn in this BMW, and he's finally going to have a chance to make a move down the inside of Cunningham corner, but he throws that opportunity away and spins himself out. At a 180-degree angle, now he has to go back into the grass and rejoin the track safely. Very unfortunate. See right here into Cunningham corner, way, way, way too deep on the brakes for Captain Kush. There was just no way that was going to work. Been chasing that BMW almost all this time. And the one opportunity he gets completely throws it away. Yeah, this is one of those corners on this already tough and abrasive racetrack that you have to trail brake for a longer period of time, a longer period than you expect. Whoa, Nevins almost runs into the back of Dr. Blunken in that 911 Roxy. He's able to keep the car settled and keep it online. He's not going to go for a move. Instead, he's going to head into the pits 4 box for his mandatory 4-tire stop. Malik didn't have a good beginning of this race being involved in lap 1. As we look at 3rd and 2nd place right now, Evan and Hattori, these two have been in the same position since the race has began. What a drive that these two are putting on for this race today. As they go into the hairpin, Evan dives deep, gaining some ground in the hairpin. but Hattori gets a better exit out of there. These two have been almost dead even the entire race. I think if Evan is going to pass Hattori, he may have to do it on pit road. And if Hattori wants to gain more ground, he's going to have to do it on pit road as well. This is brilliant, absolute brilliant racing today here at Sebring. This is only the first race. We still have the second race to do in about 12 minutes. And you can see Turbo 272 goes off track once more. See another replay. Yep, just not on the brakes today. This Turbo heads into the wall. Once again, just awful day for this Audi R8 number 46. Brakes don't seem to be working for him at all as he rear ends that tire barrier. Bad day can't get. Sergeant SB, our leader, is now coming into the pits for the first time this race for his mandatory stop for 4 tires. Not sure if he needs to refill on any fuel. In second place is also in the pits Hattori Goto. Now I did say earlier that he needs a very fast stop. Now Sergeant SB darts out of the pit lane. I don't think he's going to be challenged by anyone, but so is Hattori Goto, who roars out of the pit lane with that V8 Mercedes as well. SB comes out the pits peacefully, but what about Hattori and the Mercedes? I haven't seen Evan around the final corner yet, and it looks like the Mercedes either had the best stop or Evan just didn't have that good of a stop. But he pulls out way in front and builds a huge gap. The day goes from bad to worse to absolute horrid of hell. Galson gets a bit of grass on turn 1, goes way wide, and you can see him desperately trying to get that car stopped. But there is just nothing you can do in a situation like that. Just pounds the outside barrier and is stuck in the grass for a little bit. You can see how glowing hot that those brakes are. Nothing you can do to stop a car in a situation like that. Galson having the absolute worst day after starting near the top of the grid. Just under 5 minutes left to go at Sebring for race 1. Riding on board with the Bentley of Big Red as he chases the Aston Martin. And now Captain Kush once again goes around at turn 15. Talk about a rough day for some of these drivers. A lot of repeat crashes and spins that you see. It's going to be around turn 15. Just gets a little bit too much curb and just sends the car flying off course. Luckily, he doesn't hit anything. As these two are going to go side by side now. Big Red in a big Bentley and Fat in the Aston Martin, who's already had a rough day. Big Red is going to send it down the inside. The Aston is going to do a crossover move and try and clear Big Red in that Bentley, but it's not going to work just yet as they're going to go side by side down the front straightaway and cross that start finish line once more. A little bit more of in-car action here. Big Red has a preferred line. He goes down the inside of the Aston Martin and takes that position away. He says, "Thank you very much. I'll be on my very way now." And another Bentley that's attacking another car, and that is the Corvette C8 of Sam. As you can see, it's a battle for net 6th position, I should say. And James Greenhill is going to go down the inside of Sam. I'm sorry, the outside of Sam on the hairpin. It's not going to work for the time being. He is able to stay with him just a bit as he tucks behind Sam. He may have an opportunity to go into this Cunningham corner, but I don't think he's close enough. Is he going to try to go for a lunge? He fakes a lunge, but Sam was not falling for any of the dummy overtakes today. Probably the most level-headed driver on the track, besides SB. Sam able to get some breathing room going into the tower turn, but he gets a little bit of grass there. And now James is just able to just trail this Corvette all the way through Sector 2. Definitely waiting for an opportunity in the last straightaway. This battleship of a Bentley all over the back bumper of this Corvette. How scary must it be to see this big boat in your rearview mirror chasing you down aggressively for that position? Now James is in the slipstream He's going to veer to the left side of the track, and he's going to try to go around the outside. It looks like Sam braked a little too early for his liking, but James goes a little bit wider. He slams the outside tire barrier with 30 seconds to go, and he's going to kill all of his momentum. Now, Kanunu and Dr. Blumpkin going side by side into Sunset Bend. Kanunu is going to show James Greenhill how it's actually done. Oh, he doesn't really make the pass going around the outside. He has to follow this Roxy 77 Porsche down the straightaway. But Dr. Blumpkin doesn't seem to be protecting that outside line. He's going to compromise himself going into turn one. That's going to allow a huge opportunity for the Mercedes-Benz of Kanunu to try and make a pass. He completes the pass before going into this next turn. Oh, Blumpkin makes it very, very tight. Almost running into that Mercedes. He's going to try again. No, he gets unsettled and he ends up spinning the car around and ditching it in the grass. Blumpkin being way too over ambitious in one of the most awkward corners of this track to try and make a pass. He ends up getting the car going, but he loses positions and momentum. This all started in turn one when he just completely compromised his entry. I'm not sure why he took a defensive line. And it seemed like he was going to maybe size up Kanunu going into these next few corners, but then he just unsettles the car. Not a very good spot to place that 911 Porsche around this track, and a lot of people being too ambitious, going for daring moves today. You can just see the consequences of doing that. He does spin off the track. He was very fast in practice, absolutely untouchable in qualifying, and now in the race he's doing qualifying times. Coming out of the Sunset Bend corner, Sergeant SB is going to win race one at Sebring International Raceway, as he's going to start in the back of the grid for the second race. Well done to him. That was an absolute perfect drive. An absolute maniac behind the wheel of that Ferrari 296. Hattori crosses the line in second after a really good pit stop to build a gap towards Evan so he can cruise to second place comfortably. Third place goes to Evan. Well done for a Ferrari double podium. And a well-deserving fourth place finish for Mystic in the Lamborghini. Thrawn in the BMW crosses the line. He gets fifth place. How about Sam in the Corvette for sixth place? A very good result for him. In seventh place for James Greenhill. It could have been sixth. What a crazy race one it was at Sebring. The top three finishers remain the same as it did for qualifying. SB first, Hattori in second, and third place goes to Evan. These are not the actual race results. These are the current point standings. My apologies for that. I will go back and edit that. But up next is going to be Sebring Race 2. And this is going to be even more insane because it's going to be a reversed grid. So buckle up and get ready because the mayhem is far from over.